Wise warriors, let's lock in. Wise warriors, let's lock in. Give everybody some time to tap in. Let's lock in, wise warriors. Let's lock in. Lock in. Give everybody some time to check in and tap in this here evening. Morning, afternoon, wherever you at on the planet. And I'd like to thank everybody for allowing me into your homes and to be a part of your life. However you consume my content, I truly appreciate it. It's humbling, for people to allow me into their homes. So listen to me, all the people that I motivate or inspire or encourage or educate or just help them with any facet of life. I appreciate that. And on the flip side, you will have people that you don't encourage, you don't motivate, you don't educate. That's not going to be a firm believer of things that you say or things that you do. And that comes with the territory. You know, with a battery, you have a negative and a positive. So I'll accept that. You know, I'm able to accept those I'm able to motivate and educate and inspire and encourage. I have to take those on the other end of it that I don't motivate, that I don't encourage, that I don't inspire, that won't like me, that won't like what I represent or what I stand for. Not a problem. Not a problem. I actually appreciate both aspects of this though. Because you need negative and positive for things to work. So I embrace both aspects of it. And more importantly, I'm on a journey right now. And now that I done found my path, that's all that I see is the journey ahead and the path I got to take. And with that being said, like I said, wise warriors, once you find out what your journey is and you start to go down your path, it's going to be a bunch of things along that path. It's on you what you let distract you or look to intimidate you or antagonize you or irritate you or annoy you, get you out of character, make you look back, stop you. That's on you. And for me, it's humbling that I see that. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And it's humbling for me. And the more I embrace this, the less I worry about. So it's very gratifying for me to do what I do. And like I said, it's two sides to this. So one side is I'm humble that I motivate, I encourage, I inspire, I educate. And on the other side is people that don't think that I do that or don't believe I do that or believe I could do more or believe that I'm not real or authentic or not sincere. And that's not an issue. That's their belief. I don't have an issue with it. That's what I appreciate about life. I'm going to let people think and believe what they want to believe and think what they want to think. I don't have no issue with it. As long as I do what I'm ordained to do, it doesn't matter. Whoever disagree, disagree. Whoever agree, agree. But I'm not here to be liked, loved, or to be agreed with or disagree with. I'm going to do what I'm going to do regardless. And if something that I say is not a fact, I don't mind someone providing facts. However, majority of things that I speak about, I do homework and research on. So I'm not going to just put something out there knowingly that it's not true. Now, if I don't know I put something out there that's true, I'll double down and come back and apologize for putting out false or misinformation. That don't make me less than a man or a person. I'm humble that I acknowledge the fact that I put out some information that wasn't accurate, and that'll give me something more to do. Go back and do some more research and homework. That's how come I prefer to speak to people and not about them. Also, that's why I don't get into other people's situations because it's going to always be something that you may not know or something that's sensitive or it may ruffle someone's feathers and you not that's not your intent. I mean, I don't really care about that. However, I still respect it. 'Cause that's not my intent is to make people mad or glad. I'm raising my own vibration and frequency. Should I be able to raise anyone's frequency or vibes? I'm humble for that. But my intent is not to lower anyone's vibe or frequency. That's why I tell people, should my platform trigger them, don't recommend, not interested, unsubscribe. And another thing that I'm thankful for, Wise Warriors, I'm not on here based off what I like and who I like. Like I vibe and move off frequencies and energy. I don't do the who I like, what I like, and because it's gonna conflict with someone else and what they may like and what they may see. And I don't care about that. It's not important to me. What's relevant to me is energy, is awareness, self-discipline, self-control, self-respect. As long as I could stay disciplined and control myself and respect myself, how can I really worry about if someone else doesn't respect themselves or doesn't control themselves or not teaching themselves? It have nothing to do with me. I'm not going to call them out on it, but it have nothing to do with me. And I'm humbled and it's gratifying that I learned that not to do that because all I'm doing is taking the energy and effort off of myself from the things I could be studying and learning how to do better for me instead of worrying about critiquing someone else and others or the aha moment. Like I told you, I say aha, I tell myself. Like I'm teaching myself. Like when I when I was younger, right? Quick story. Everybody out there, wise warriors, a quick story, right? A quick one. When I was younger, a teacher pulled me to the side and said, should you want to disrupt my lesson, you got to be ready to teach the class and yourself. And I told the teacher, I respect that. I would never disrupt your lesson. However, I'm going to make sure I teach myself. And from that day forth, what I had to learn now, I ain't worrying about what they was teaching in school, if it was right, wrong, garbage, lies, manipulation, confusion. When I open up the books, the math book, the social studies book, the global study book, the language arts book, whatever book that I opened up, I was willing to teach myself. So my point is that I was the type to critique the curriculum. I was the type to critique myself. The curriculum didn't matter. Oh, teaching this. This ain't real math. This ain't real science. This ain't real global study. I'm going to teach myself so I could see through what's really in the book and started to comprehend better and able to dissect and see through what was what and who was who. So even if the teacher in that math class or that language arts class or that English class was teaching nothing but lies and confusion, the reason why it didn't apply to me, because I had to open up the books like every other student. But I opened up other books outside of the books they gave me to find out. And I still do that to this day. I don't want to outsmart others. I want to outsmart myself so I can stay keen and aware to the ways of the world. Because one thing I appreciate about this planet called Earth, nobody gonna give you what you ain't going to get. So if you're not going to get knowledge, ain't nobody gonna give it to you. If you ain't going to get money, ain't nobody gonna give it to you. If you ain't going to get peace of mind, ain't nobody gonna give it to you. If you ain't going to get solitude, ain't nobody going to give it to you. So what I appreciate, Wise Warriors, I'm humbled that I go get. I go seek. And I'm also humbled and it's gratifying that when it come, I don't look at who it came from. I look that it came. Another quick story, Wise Warriors. When I was homeless, right, and I was hungry, I didn't really worry about where the food came from, as long as the food was healthy. Like it was something that I knew wouldn't make me sick, wouldn't make my stomach hurt, wouldn't give me a headache. Like they didn't put nothing in the food to make me sick or to try to harm me or hurt me. I didn't care who the food came from. Not even because I was hungry. It was because I had to start making the right decisions now. See, Wise Warriors, a snake don't bite you because it's a snake. A snake bites you because you're not paying attention. When that lion come attack Wise Warriors, they've been sitting low in the jungle behind the grass and you wasn't looking. You wasn't paying attention. So now when that lion get up on you, they could smell and sense the fear because now they up on you. Of course, you're not stronger or faster, but they could still smell and sense the fear. So when they're in the jungle hunting, they proclaimed as a king in the jungle because they know how to hunt. That's the difference. So I had to learn how to hunt. Wise words meaning I had to learn what books to open up. I had to learn how to discipline myself, how to not feed. It's a lot that goes on in the world and society. Wise warriors. I don't tune in and tap into that. And I'm not saying it's not important or it's not relevant. All it's going to do is distract me from staying focused. See, I don't have an opinion about it because, like I always say, Wise Warriors, my opinion only matter to me. It only matter to me. It don't matter to anyone but me. What I think only matter to me. Facts is unable to be disputed. Truth is unable to be disputed. There has no expiration date. So no matter how emotional someone gets or how much they want to combat it or argue or dispute and go back and forth, that's not going to change the facts or the truth. However, for me to give my thoughts or my theory or what I see on a situation or a person I may not fully know about, I may have heard a few things they said, but that doesn't give me a whole thought process of who they really are, who they could be, because I've heard a few statements. So it's like if I didn't read the whole book, how can I really critique the author? You know what I mean, Wise Warriors? Like if I didn't read the whole book, how am I gonna critique the author? I didn't read the whole book. And let's just say I read some chapters and I didn't like the chapters I've read. That still don't give me, just me, the mentality that I could criticize the author. It's like I read a few chapters, man. This book is trash. Or man, this book is disrespectful. Or this book is depressing. Or this book is full of lies. But I didn't read the whole book, and I might not have started from the beginning. I may have went from the part that somebody told me about in the book. So that's why I always say, wise warriors, people gonna criticize you. That don't matter. They wasn't there from the beginning. It's like what I do on my podcast. Some people may hear something and just run off what they heard that particular day or that particular time, but not be willing to do the homework and the research and go back to what may have led up to that. But what was said was so upsetting, they ain't even do that. They're just like, nah, I'm not. I don't like what was said. So that's why I refuse, wise warriors, to critique things that go on. I'm going to speak about life. I'm going to speak about energy, vibrations, growing and evolving and ascending. But I'm not going to be like, yo, this happened. Let me, because I'm not chasing anything and I'm competing against myself. I'm not trying to keep up with anyone or anything. And that's not a knock on anyone or anything. I'm competing against me. So I don't have time to be trying to keep up, because I learned, wise warriors, I'm going to end up getting sucked into or dragged into now a tornado or a wolf or a whirlwind, a whirlwind of things that I know I don't want to be a part of or surrounded by or submerged in. And no, it's not that I have concerns or I'm worried or I'm weak. It's just that, again, wise warriors, we got to learn how to outsmart ourselves. Don't dumb down. Don't be the foolish version of yourself. Be the intelligent version of yourself and be like, yo, that ain't for me. And what you do or what you say or the energy you bring or the vibes you bring, those who is intended to be on that frequency, they'll tap in. They'll tap in. And also, wise warriors, I don't force anything. Like, I'm not forcing anyone to tap in or to subscribe. I mean, I'll ask it or say it due to the facts now, so it can reach other wise warriors that need it or that's looking for it or that's going to appreciate it or reciprocate it. But nobody have to subscribe. Nobody got to hit the like button. That's why when I do respond back to people in the comments, I tell them, thank you for their effort and energy. I appreciate their support, because they don't have to do it. I don't care how much they may be motivated or how much they may be inspired or how much I could educate or I could help or I could heal or I can encourage. So they don't have to do it. They're not obligated. One thing, wise warriors, that I appreciate, that I'm telling a lot of wise warriors now, to appreciate themselves. Appreciate themselves. From my perspective on what I'm about to say, wise warriors, too many people value what other people got going on and they lose themselves. Like, I used to do that. Like, I was so caught up in so many other things that I started to misvalue me and neglect me. I was so caught up in music, sports, fashion, TV shows. And it was like I was losing myself. And it's not taking nothing away from those things. But I got locked up one time while I was Warriors. And it took for older, much mature, wise warrior to pull me to the side. I was like, young man, you ain't focused. And they pulled me to the side. I was like, just sit back here with me for an hour out of a day and just analyze everything. Don't say nothing. Just pay attention. And when they first grabbed me up, Wise Warriors, I didn't do it. I'm like, nah, I'm good, OG. He like, no, I'm telling you, man, I see it in you. You got to start seeing it in yourself. And I'm like, what you see? He said, you got to sit down and start analyzing. He said, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? And I told him, he was like, nah. Do you see your spirit? Do you see your soul? Like, is your spirit and your soul connected to you? Are you happy with your spirit and where your soul is at? And then I'm like, damn, that's deep. And then one day, Wise Warriors, I went through something. And he seen that I was frustrated. He was like, let me talk to you, young man. And he was talking to me. I was so frustrated and I wasn't listening at first. Then he said something. It just opened up my mind. He was like, see how you quiet? Now just come sit back here and just analyze. And I'm like, all right, OG, you got my word. I'm gonna come back here tomorrow. He said, why you can't do it now? I said, because you ain't gonna have my undivided attention. He was like, you know what? I respect that. And then when the next day came, Wise Warriors, I didn't say nothing. I just went back there with him. And I just sat there for an hour and just analyzed the whole part of the jail I was in. I just analyzed everything. How the day room played out, how the phone played out, how the arguments transpired, how the fights was breaking out. And the more and more I stayed quiet and stayed back, Wise Warriors, things started to evolve for me. And then maybe like 4 5 months done went by, and he asked me that question, what I see in the mirror. I'm like a person that's finding themselves and things start not to mean much to me. And now when he would ask me questions, I could give him realistic responses instead of just a response because I wanted to fill that space because he asked me something. Like if he would say, well, why you don't need to call your family? I said, because they ain't have nothing to do with why I'm in here. And he'd be like, exactly. Why you ain't worried about the TV? Because that TV ain't bettering my mentality. It ain't giving me peace of mind. It's really distracting me. And let somebody do something with the TV because it's distracting me. I may say something to them that I can't take back. I may do something to them that I can't get back. They may do something to me that they can't get back. And he like, exactly. So my point is, Wise Warriors, is that I stop allowing things to distract me. So that's how I'm able to come to my platform and not get into everything that's going on because it have nothing to do with me. That's why I look to build with everybody and not anybody, everybody. Now, it may not pan out that way, no problem. May not pan out that way, but I'm going to still stay the course, though. I'm going to still stay the course because, like I said, should I give my perspective and my views on things that I see and hear, somebody gonna try and say, no, that's not real, or that's not right, or that make you this, or you a hypocrite, or you contradict yourself, or you this, or you that. I mean, they doing it now, wise warriors. However, the difference is, though, they got to do it now based off energy, based off frequency, based off me looking at the old me like I don't want to be that no more, looking up at the new me like that's what I'm questing and destined to do, become the new me. So that's why I say, wise warriors, we looking down at the old us and looking up at the new us. Things are going to happen in life. It's not what people call me, it's what I respond to. It's not what people say to me or about me, it's what I say back. So, with that perspective and that mentality, I keep an edge on and over myself. I'm at war with myself. I'm not at war with mankind, civilization, humanity, with the world. I'm at war with myself. I fight myself. So how am I have time to go to war or fight with somebody else when I'm fighting with myself? And I'm gonna keep fighting myself and fighting with myself. Because I have to be certain that I'm embracing the new me. Another thing, wise warriors, how come I don't take on the challenges of the world? Because nobody cares anyway. So what that means is, should I even take on the challenges of the world? And I could show or display or put facts with it. Somebody's still gonna say, but that's your opinion. That's how you see it. That's how you feel. So what I'm doing now, wise warriors, is just putting facts on the things that I study to evolve in life, to grow in life, to better life. Not to better a person, just to better life. I don't question or challenge people. I I may question something that may be said and not challenge it or question it like I want to dispute it or debate it for better clarity, for a better perspective. Because I'm learning when people think you looking to challenge them or debate them or argue with them, it's going to be an issue. And sometimes people don't want to let it go. They want to hold on to it. See, wise words I had to learn is wealth is not having a lot of something, it's having enough. So you don't always got to indulge in spending money. So if I got enough things to wear, I ain't got to keep going out there spending money on clothes. If I got enough cologne, I ain't got to keep buying cologne. I got enough. That's wealth. Knowledge is infinite. It keep going and growing. So that's what I'm chasing, knowledge. And I'm running away from the old selfish, ignorant, bad attitude of myself and running into a more intelligent, wise, honorable version with dignity, with awareness, self-respect, self-control. Like when I look in the mirror now, wise warriors, I see a better spirit, a stronger soul. And that's gratifying for me to look in the mirror and see a better spirit, a better soul. See, wise warriors, the reason a lot of people, spirits and soul, be under attack because they take on baggage of the world. And since the internet has taken off, more people believe now they need to tap in with everything. They need to tap in with every scenario and situation. And what that does is that scatter your spirit and your soul. Because now your spirit become connected, to something that doesn't align with you spiritually. Your soul is not aligned with that. So it's going to have you grumpy, agitated, aggravated, annoyed, frustrated. And I learned that from experience, wise warriors. That's experience. I didn't get that from a book or from studying or from reading. That's experience. See, when my spirit and my soul was connected to so many various different things, I was grumpy, I was agitated, things annoyed me because it's like I was scattered everywhere. I'm debating about basketball, football, baseball, education, music, fashion, movies, family, religion, politics, the news. When it's like when I cut a lot of that stuff off and out, I found my spirit and my soul start to align with each other now. Because my spirit is like, yo, but you was arguing about basketball? You arguing about politics? My soul, like, I'm I'm getting aggravated and agitated over fashion, over music, over a movie. And again, there's nothing wrong with those things, but I had to look at me. I had to check me. There's nothing wrong with none of them things. I just had to be right within me. So that's why, wise warriors, I don't tap in with any of that because how I see it is just going to distract me. And once I tap in with it, now I got to be prepared with the energy and the spirits that's going to come with that. Because spirit's going to come with it. So if I tap in about something that's trending or a current event, now I got to deal with that. And I know me, it's not that I'm upset, but I don't want my spirit and my soul to be connected to that like that. I don't. So if I do speak about politics, I'm not speaking about the president or a mayor or the governor. I'm speaking about politicians on a whole, collectively. I'm not going to single out one politician because now that's going to spark that spirit that's going to come in and say, "Oh, you this or you that, or you support this person, so that means you against this person." So if I talk about violence, I'm not going to just talk about domestic violence. I'm going to just talk about violence. I'm talking about poverty. I'm just going to talk about poverty. I'm not going to say, well, these people been starving and these people shouldn't be worrying about food. Somebody hungry, they hungry. Somebody hungry, they hungry. I can't tell somebody how hungry they is. How I'm going to do that? Or how hungry they should be. Like, you shouldn't even be that hungry. You was eating for the last 150 million years. It's like, so for me, wise warriors, that's why I don't do it. That's why I don't tap into those frequencies, because it's a frequency when you tap. It's like turning the radio on. It's a frequency when you turn that radio station. When you turn the TV on, you change the channel. It's a frequency. And every frequency has dopamine connected to it. Every frequency has dopamine connected to it. So if you're not focused, that frequency gonna draw you in and suck you in. You're gonna be like, I don't know how I get this deep with this. That wasn't my intention, because the frequency and the dopamine connected to it. You know, it's like somebody said, man, I ain't gonna even argue with my man today. I ain't gonna even argue with my girl today. I ain't gonna argue with my coworkers today. I ain't gonna even argue with my boss today. And then they'll give you that look, or they'll say something, and it's like you win it. But if you just ignore it, they're gonna say something regardless. But you ignoring it, you didn't say nothing. And I had to learn that. That's the key ingredient, which you didn't do. I can't control what somebody else is gonna say or do. And it's also gratifying that I don't want to, though. I don't want to, wise warriors. I want to control what I say, what I do. So that's how I come, wise warriors. I don't feed into it. Also, I don't do it because now I'm at a certain point where some of the wise warriors are starting to come out the woodwork. And I get it. Majority of you guys don't want to say nothing because they don't want other people that appreciate what I do, but don't fully grasp where I'm at with it and where I'll be going with it and where I came from with it. They probably don't want those people seeing a comment and clicking on their profile. Like, who is this person? Where they from? What they doing? I get that. I respect that. I value that. So a lot of wise warriors are not gonna say nothing. But I know they be listening. I know they be paying attention. That's all I ask. Anything extra they willing to do is gratifying. It's humbling. They don't have to do it though. Leonardo, what's going on, friend? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it. So that's how that work, wise warriors. Like, I'm not worrying about clicks and likes. Because what happened when somebody click on a video and they don't like it? See, because it's 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 heads and tails. It's pros and cons. And I'm well aware of the pros and the cons. So that's why I'm not eager to tap into things like that. And wise warriors, I have people that I'll see that'll tell me, yo, you got a podcast, you need to speak about this. And I'll tell them, nah, that ain't for me. That ain't for me. They'd be like, no, but I'm saying. You got a perspective, or you know what you're talking about, or and I'll be like, nah, I'm good. And again, the spirits, wise warriors, the energy, the frequency, that don't align with my spirit and my soul. Like when I see it happening, I be like, you just got to stay focused. Like you got to be focused. Period. And I'm thankful that I'm focused. Thankful for that. No, because I don't need those spirits looking to unalign my spirit and my soul because I'm tapping in to a frequency that I ain't on. I ain't on that frequency. Why am I tapping into it? I'm good. So that's how come Wise Warriors, I don't do it. And when you start growing and evolving and ascending, it just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. And another thing that I appreciate, Wise Warriors, I may be even asked about certain things. I'll give some sort of feedback, but I'm not going to get deep in depth about it because I get it, because I'm challenging myself. No, nobody owes me anything. I owe things to myself. And that's what I stay focused on. The things that I owe to myself. Self-respect, self-awareness, self-accountability. That's why I stress those things all the time. Like I said earlier, knowledge is infinite. That's why I don't run to YouTube every day, all day. I'm on here, yes, but I don't run to YouTube. I get it. Like I get it. So I just want to remain focused and keep my frequencies high, keep my vibes high. Because again, I could bring all facts about something. It doesn't matter if, no, it doesn't matter when facts is being brought. Should you bring facts about something and the person or the thing is not liked it or not respected, it doesn't matter any longer. It doesn't matter. So I don't allow that to get the best of me no more. It's like I said, the energy is important. Energy is important. Frequency is important. And all it's going to do is, like I said, corrupt your spirit and or your soul. And now you're not going to be spiritually aligned with your own spirit and your own soul. Once that happens, you're going to be having a lot more problems than you previously had. And it's like, hold on, but why I'm having all these problems, though? Because your spirit and your soul is not aligned. And I'm humbled, wise warriors, that once I learned that and I got my spirit and my soul aligned and back intact, it, that's gratifying. That was humbling. Another thing, wise warriors, how come I don't speak about or indulge in trending topics and what's going on in the world or with the world is that the information that's put out there is not 100% accurate. So even though I may think I know or believe I have an understanding, I'm still not going to be 100% accurate because all the information that's put out there is not all the information. They're going to put out limited information. And now I'm just speaking to be caught up in the mix. You know what I mean? And I don't have all the information. I don't have all the info. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna do it to myself. Cause it's like I don't have all the info, but I'm speaking about something. Or I'm going off what somebody else said, or what the news put out, or what somebody in the magazine done put. I'm gonna just get focused on my energy, my spirit, my soul, my vibes. Like whatever else happens that could connect with that is humbling. Like I'll appreciate it. I really would, and I really do. That's what I'm focused on. But I'm not going to go back and forth and worry about it. It have nothing to do with me. It have nothing to do with me. And another thing, wise warriors, you could, do it out of love. You know what I'm saying? Not even about the knowledge aspect now. You could just do it out of love, meaning you could just have love or sympathy for someone's situation, and that could backfire. Like that can backfire. So it's so much from an energy perspective that you got to pay attention to. From a frequency perspective, you got to pay attention to. So how you gonna have time to even be caught up in a bunch of everything? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restrict myself to making sure that I keep my frequency and my vibes high by just staying focused on the things that I know I could control. Like I know that. I'm gonna just stay in tune and focus on that. Hey friend, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it. How you doing? Thanks for your time. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Jen in your heart. Thank you for tapping in, friend. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, friend. Thank you. I'm okay. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm humbled and I'm thankful. Yeah, so again, wise warriors, like I said, I don't do it is because it's so much energy and there's so many different frequencies and things that alter your spirit and your soul when you're trying to be involved with so many various different things. And this is why so many problems exist between so many different people, so many different cultures, so many different religions, so many different groups of people, because people are so tapped in because the internet gives you access to people throughout the world, which is a blessing. However, I don't want to turn a blessing into stressing. I want to turn it into a lesson so I can learn. And I'm learning how to focus on my spirit, my energy, and my soul. So that's why, wise warriors, I say what I say and I do what I do because it's important. You got to be keen, wise warriors, and know the more you tap into, the more you're going to be looking for that dopamine rush. It's like sugar. Like sugar got something in it that keep you addicted to it. You know what I mean? And you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. It's like, man, that cookie was good. I want another one. That piece of cake was good. I'll take another piece. That chocolate was good. I'll take, so, and it's the sugar. It's the rush from the sugar. It's the dopamine. So once you start getting caught up, you're like, hold on, I ain't even know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like you start getting caught up. And your spirit and your soul senses that. And once they not aligned, they go against each other. Your spirit going one way, your soul going another way. And then your mind start playing tricks on you. You know what I mean? So your spirit go one way, your soul go another way, and then your mind start playing tricks on you. And once that happens, issues start because you're not anticipating going or getting this deep with somebody about something. It's like, how did this go this way that quickly? Because your spirit and your soul, first of all, ain't connected. So your spirit wants to go one way or do one thing, and your soul want to be one way. So your spirit ain't at ease. So how your soul gonna be at ease? Your spirit is everywhere. Your spirit is into music, sports, fashion, movies, your family, holidays, school, or college, or your job, or your career. So it's like it's so much going on. Or you on various different websites. You on Instagram. That that draws your spirit in. You on Facebook, that draw your spirit in. You on TikTok, that draw your spirit in. You on YouTube, that draw your spirit in. You on Rumble, that draw your spirit in. You on Twitch, that draw your. So it's so much, and by the time your body starts to sit down and shut it down, your spirit is still out there, connected with those things, and your soul ain't at peace because it's unable to rest because it need that spirit. They got to be together. So I'm learning, wise warriors, how to keep my solitude and my soul at peace because I'm not connected. Like I disconnected from all those things. And the more that I disconnect, the more my soul is like, ah, my spirit is like, yes. Now I don't have to worry about now. Like another thing, wise warriors, when your spirit is everywhere, people start tugging at it and pulling at it. And that's how your soul now don't stay aligned with your spirit because it's like people start pointing at the spirit. They're looking for you to get back to them on Instagram, or on Facebook, or on Snapchat, or whatever other websites that's out there. Because if you don't say nothing and they see you post something or they comment on something, they looking for you to respond to that comment, or they looking for you to get back to them if they DM you or whatever comes with those websites. And when you don't, now how come you fake, you ain't real. What I do to you? See, that's more that your spirit ain't prepared for. Your spirit got to be ready for that. Your spirit ain't ready for that. For somebody to keep tugging at it about why you ain't get back to them or the way you responded back to them when you got. So should you get back to them now, they're going to be tugging at you the way you got back to them, or it took you too long, or why you said it like that, or why you aggravated today, or what happened. It's like, see, so now you got to go through a whole whirlwind of explaining or addressing or figuring out. Like that's not something I'm going to worry about or I'm going to be focused on. Wise warriors, I don't care. That's why I'm not into it. So I ain't dealing with it. So I ain't dealing with it. Because I learned the effect that various different things have on the spirit and the soul. I learned that. And again, this is just experience, wise warriors. It's like going by a lake or by a stream or by a river, and you get to see the boats just float, no noise, or you get to see the ducks or the geese or whatever's right there by the water, and they calm. They ain't making no noise. It's like that peace of mind. It does a lot for the soul. It does a lot for the spirit. Like another quick story was I was younger, right? And somebody that I got to know on a personal level, right? Their family had like a cabin. And when they took me to the cabin, it was beyond peaceful. And since my spirit, wise warriors, and my soul wasn't right and aligned where it should have been, when I went to that cabin, I couldn't be there but for so long because my spirit and my soul wasn't aligned. It was connected to so many other things. And at that time, honestly, the internet wasn't popular because this was like early 2000s. It maybe could have been like 2000 or 2001. But they like, no, I'm going upstate to see my family. Would you mind coming? And I'm like, oh no, you invite me, yeah, I'll go. And they took me, and I think it was his uncle. It wasn't his dad, but I think it was his uncle. And he came and got us, and it was a long drive. They took me to a cabin, and it was like extremely peaceful, but my spirit and my soul wasn't at peace at that juncture of my life. So I couldn't accept that and embrace that correctly. And they seen it and they sensed it. And they was like, oh, you used to being in the city, huh? And I'm like, yeah, they like, nah, but this is, you come here, this is peaceful, this is calm, this is solitude, like this what you need. And I'm worrying about basketball games at that time. I was still smoking, so I was worrying about weed. And I had weed at that time, but it wasn't about that totally. It was just like I was worrying about so many things that was irrelevant. Wise warriors. And my spirit and my soul couldn't just take being in that cabin and then going outside that cabin and just seeing nature and listening to owls. You know what I mean? Like seeing a deer and it ain't making no noise. You know what I mean? Like seeing a skunk and it ain't making no noise. Like seeing a raccoon and it ain't making no noise. Just like I had to really, really mentally be prepared and I wasn't. And now that I'm much older, if I was to ever see dude again, I'd be like, yo, I appreciate what you did, man. So wherever you at in the universe, thank you, man. And thank your family for taking me out at that time, out the city and taking me, we was like upstate somewhere. And they, like I said, his family had that cabin and it was like, that was like the ultimate peace of mind. But I didn't know how to embrace that, wise warriors, and accept that. I didn't know how to do that. So I was like, you know what? But now that I'm older, I appreciate what they did for me, wise warriors. Like having me in that environment. You know what I mean? And maybe wise warriors, just maybe they seen something in me. Like I keep saying that I didn't see it myself because another thing, they trusted me to take me to that environment. And that's what I mean by when you start to get focused, things that ain't about no substance no more. It ain't it ain't about no value. You ignore it. Like I said, wherever dude is at in the universe, shout out to him and his peoples, man, and his family. If I was to ever see him, I definitely would give him a handshake. Like, yo, I appreciate you and your family. At that time, I didn't embrace it, but thank you. Because that's where I'm at now. While warriors like that would be something, shit, I knew, dude, I would appreciate that. Like, yo, can we go back to that cabin? And now I would embrace, they probably be like, yo, you know how to hunt? You know what I mean? Like, yo, you know how to hunt? And I could work on survival skills that you really gonna need should something catastrophic happen, like the pandemic situation. So now I got some survival skills that you're gonna need. Got them survival skills, you're gonna need that. You're gonna need them survival skills. So for me, this be like, yeah, like that's official. And like I said, while I was worried at that point in my life, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't totally tapped in and tuned in. You know what I mean? Like, and that comes with experience as well. Like being able to be a visionary to the point where it's like you embrace things better. Because I know, like I said, they seen something in me that I ain't seeing myself. And I appreciate it. Because like I said, I know they seen it in me. I just didn't see it in myself. And that's nobody's fault but mine. However, I'm thankful though that they was willing to put me in that situation. Like take me somewhere that I wasn't accustomed to being in and showing me a different way at that time. Like I said, I wasn't ready for it. And now looking back, it's like, yeah, man, that was a good look. That was a good move. It was a good move. And me embracing it is the key ingredient to everything. Like me accepting it. Like, wow. So wise warriors, when you get to a point where it could be small or little to someone else, but it become huge to you, that's when you know you arrived as well. Like a meal ain't just a meal to you, it's actually like a feast. And it could just be like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you appreciate it because you value the fact that you got something to eat. It don't always got to be what you want to eat. It's the fact that you got something to eat because it's people that don't have things to eat. Or somebody in a position to prepare a meal for you, or you can get a meal prepared for you. You got a roof over your head, you got clothes on your back. Of course, we all want more. Of course, we all strive for more. What's more relevant? You strive for more, what you have. Like I said, I'm learning wealth is about having enough, not abundance is just having enough. I'm learning that. That's what attaches you to wealth, having enough. Like I got enough sneakers, or I got enough shoes, I got enough belts, I got enough cologne, I got enough undergarments, enough socks. Could I strive to get more? Yes. However, if I don't get any more, it's not going to be catastrophic because I have enough, and that's wealth. And once you embrace that, things happen better. Things happen better because you're embracing it now. And once you start to embrace things, you'll see the effect it'll have. You'll see that as you start to embrace things better, being more humble, being more grateful, having more gratitude, because gratitude is everything. Wise warriors. Another thing about your spirit and your soul, it doesn't rest correctly when it's connected to so many things. It's it's another thing about it being yanked this way or that way, but the appropriate rest because you're gonna have too many unnecessary things on your mind. Too many unnecessary things on your mind. So your spirit and your soul won't be right. Because like I said, you're involved with so many things. Music, sports, fashion, movies, politics, social media, family, friends, your job, and or school. You got kids. It's look at all that. Like I ain't even bring up your health yet. And honestly, wise warriors, it should be in reverse. It should be health, then you, then everything else. And actually, none of them other things don't even really matter. And don't let things that simple distract you. Like another thing I'm humbled that I learned how to do while I was warriors, I learned how to do more with less. I learned how to do more with less. So the less people I got to deal with, I could get more done. But the more people I got to deal with, I get less done because now I got to appease to so many other people. But the less people I have, it's like, all right, I could get more done because I ain't got to worry about so many people being involved. So many egos and so many people pride. And so if I deal with less people, I can get more done. Like where I'm at today with my podcast. While I was worried, so many people told me, you should be on Instagram. You should be on Facebook. And I'm like, nah, but I don't need that. Like that's something that's going to distract me because I'm doing something and people not gonna respond or send me friend requests or hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever other websites to really want to holler at me based off what I'm doing. They're just gonna want to be my friend to build up their friend list or to build up their following. And it's like I'm good. Or when my following do grow, or I gain more subscribers or whatever it is, or more friends or whatever it is, they just gonna want to be on the bandwagon. Or wise warriors, they're gonna want to be nosy. So for me, I learned how to do more with less. So I ain't gotta be like, man, I got all these people to deal with. Nah, man. And then, like I said, there's some people that just don't want to be left out. Like they don't really care about what you're doing, what you're saying, what the point is, nothing. And they could throw off other people' energy that don't want to hear all that don't want to experience none of that. They could throw their energy off. They don't want to go through none of that. So, and why would I want to take them through that? They just coming probably to hear some motivation or get some education or to be encouraged or inspired. Or they may just want to listen and they may just be saying how or sending me a salute just for me to know they're there. And somebody may try to sidetrack them. And I'm also on it that, like right now, it's telling me like 3, 4 people here. I, that's all right with me. And if those 3 or 4 people feel like they're gonna fall back, and uh, I'm not worried about it, because I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do regardless, Wise Warriors. Because it's gonna be a time where it's gonna go from 3 or 4 to 40 or 50. Then it's gonna go from 40 or 50 to 400, 500, 400 to 500 to 4 or 5,000. So it's gonna be there. But I spoke about that already, Wise Warrior. And like I said, I spoke about that already, though, Wise Warrior. The numbers don't mean nothing to me because numbers could be exaggerated and fabricated. Also, there's people that have huge platforms, millions of subscribers, and go live. I'm gonna just go with what I always use. Somebody can have 1 million subscribers and go live and won't have 100,000 people in their live or attending their live or viewing their live. And that would only be 10% of their audience. So for me, Wise Warriors, I know how to do more with less. And that doesn't determine to me what I'm going to do. Because, like I said, I'm big on energy and frequency. And when you tied in and connected in to so many various different things, your soul and your spirit, for one, don't be aligned. For two, you're going to have spiritual and psychological and or problems with your soul. How come? Because you're not connected to yourself. You're connected to a lot of various different energies and frequencies. And that is real. That's not fabricated, exaggerated, me just chatting or talking. That's facts, Wise Warriors. That's facts. That's how come, Wise Warriors, so many people have issues and they don't know how. Or when other people have issues, they be like, well, why this person got frustrated, or why they started bugging out, or why they going through this and how I get this far, because their spirit is not aligned with their soul. And now they mind start to play tricks on them. That's why mental health appears to be out of control. So when you on social media, and let's just say, because I see some new people tapping in. So let's just say you got 5 different websites you connected to. Your spirit and your soul is connected to all those websites. And I get it, Wise Warriors. Some people are on these websites for different reasons. However, their spirit and or their soul is connected to it, though. They got soul ties with Instagram. They got soul ties with Facebook. They got soul ties with Snapchat. So their spirit is one way and their soul is another way. So it's like spiritually, they might not want to respond today, but they got soul ties with Facebook. So now if they don't say something, somebody gonna be like, oh, you was on Instagram Tuesday, you ain't even say nothing to me. You was on Snapchat Friday, you ain't see me. It's like, so now you got a soul tie. So that's why I'm only on YouTube and it's only about business and it's only pertaining to Wise Warriors. That's that. Once I shut this down, it's over. So that's why I'm not on those other websites. Because now I don't want to have that soul tie. And somebody like, oh, yo, he such and such and such. Yo, I'm gonna follow him. And now I don't want to follow back. It's like now we're gonna have friction and tension because like, oh, I followed you. Why you ain't follow me back? You know what I mean? And it's like, but I'm not on that for that. Even though I'm not literally and logically on it, but I'm not on it for that. I'm not on Facebook for that. I'm not on Instagram for that. And again, I'm not on those websites, but it's just the point. I'm not on it for somebody to acknowledge me. I'm on it because I'm looking to speak to, find, or track down wise warriors. And since I know it's not going to happen on that level, I'm going to just keep it on YouTube. And something else I learned, wise warriors, about that, about the YouTube thing. People could be on TikTok, right? People could be on Instagram, right? People could be on Facebook, right? Or Rumble or Twitch or whatever. You know what I seen though? What I mean by energy and frequency wise warriors, it still lead back to YouTube. I done seen people that have huge platforms say, I seen this on TikTok, but they brought what they seen and whatever the video was, they brought to YouTube. I seen it happen. I seen people go Instagram live and somebody record the Instagram live and post it on YouTube. I've seen it done. So at the end of the day, I'ma just stay on YouTube. If that's not good enough or I ain't get monetized quick enough, it's gonna happen. So my point is, Wise Warriors, before I got to the subscriber count I got to, I never studied numbers because I've seen people with 1 million subscribers go live and don't have 100,000 people viewing their live stream, and that would only be 10% of their audience. So what that mean? They live stream is whack. They live stream ain't lit. Just being realistic, and I'm not taking a shot at nobody. I'm just paying attention. 1 million subscribers, right? And they go live and don't have 100,000 people viewing. 10% of their audience would be 100,000 people. That's only 10% out of 1 million is 100,000. So how they got 1 million subscribers, but they don't got 100,000 people viewing when they go live. And some of these people go live daily. So if it's 7 days out the week, they go live 5 days and they don't have 100,000 people viewing. That's only 10%. They got have 1 million subscribers and have like 10,000 people in they live. So I'm just saying. And again, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just paying attention. So that's why the numbers of who is in my chat or how many people viewing and all, I don't base it off how many likes. I base it off who like. I don't base it off how many views. I base it off who view it. I don't base it off shares. I base it off who share it. That's what I do, Wise Warriors. So I'm gonna say that one more time. I don't base it off how many likes. I base it off who like it. I don't base it off how many views. I base it off who view it. I don't base it off how many shares. I base it off who share it. I don't base it off subscribers. I base it off who subscribe. That's what I'm saying by my energy, Wise Warriors. Your energy got to be connected to something. Your frequency got to be turned up higher. But when your energy is just in the galaxy and it's everywhere, the universe ain't gonna reciprocate that. It's everywhere. The universe sense that. It's like, okay, you connected to this, that. Can be connected to so many things. So I'm connected to the universe, and my spirit and my soul is aligned together. So that's why I said earlier, Wise Warriors, when I first started this live stream, that's why I don't do what typically get done. That's why I like to talk to people and not about them, and I don't speak about things that typically everyone else does because I don't need my spirit and my soul to not be aligned and then connected to these things. Also, the mainstream media puts out limited information. So that would make me have partial information when I'm speaking about things that I may see and or hear. I'm unable to get the accurate information from the person, I'm leaving it alone. And just because I'm able to get the information from the person, I'm still not going to share it with the world. I'm just saying, at least that's gratification because that's the instant information from the person. Because I could tell somebody something and they could tell it to some, they're not going to tell that person exactly the way I told them. And even should they do that, I'm going to grant that. Let's just say, okay, I tell somebody something and they tell someone else exactly what I said. That person that they told still going to interpret the way they want. They still going to interpret the way they want. And I'll probably have to clarify, but I didn't mean it that way. Saying this is what they said. This is what I got from it. So that's why I don't do it either, because somebody's gonna tell somebody else what they meant or what they mean. It's like, hold on, I didn't mean that. That wasn't my intention. And I could specifically say exactly what I mean. Exactly. Still it'd be like, I interpret it this way, but I didn't mean that way. So why should I put myself in a situation to have to explain something to someone? So if I stay away from that, keep my energy away from that, I ain't got to worry about it, wise warriors. So that's why on my platform, I don't do trending topics or what everyone else does, because I don't need my energy connected to it. And this is how come things are held on to for so long, because people don't realize how real energy is. It stays connected to something. Energy is severely critical. Like, energy is so real. Somebody could say something, somebody will hold on to it for years after the fact because the energy is still connected. And you could apologize. I didn't mean it that way. That wasn't my intent. None of that. They're going to be like, no problem, but they ain't let it go. That's how come so many people inflicting physical violence on people, because of energy. And when that start to happen, now people want to force things on people, their beliefs, their faiths. So now it's like, but I don't agree with that. I don't feel like that. That's why I always say this, wise warriors. My opinion only matter to me. It don't matter to nobody but me. That's why that word that's in front of opinion, entitled, is, I'm entitled to it. But I also learned, wise warriors, it only matters to me. It only matters to me. My opinion don't matter to nobody. That's why I don't voice it, because it don't matter to nobody but me. So since I learned that, wise warriors, I keep it to myself. Facts, I can always speak about that. It don't matter if people love it, hate it, don't want to hear it, want to argue, want to debate. It don't matter. For example, wise warriors, I know I'm gonna die. I don't know when or how. And even if I might think I know when, I may not know how. And even if I think I know how, I don't know when. But the fact of the matter is, I'm gonna pass away one day. That's gonna happen. I also learned this while I was working. Somebody would debate that, because they may say, "But you don't know where you go when you die." Nobody does. Just to not want to through and through acknowledge the fact that it's going to happen to them and me, even if I can't hit them with no other facts. The facts is everybody that's on the planet Earth will die. Somebody may say, nah, but I'm saying, AI, they're going to give me AI body parts just to go against what I'm saying. And I'm not mad at that, but I analyze that. So that's why I'm not putting my energy into nothing except for growth, evolution, and being smarter and wiser than I was yesterday. And looking down at the old me, looking up at the new me. That's how come I speak the way I speak. That's why I say peace world, because that's to the planet. That's to the planet. What I do ain't restricted to one person or one group of people. This is for man, woman, and child, humanity, civilization. So it's for everything and everybody. Whoever it ain't for, it ain't for. No problem. I know everybody not gonna approve of what I say. No problem. Everybody gonna approve of what I think, what I believe, what I see. Not an issue. For those who do, I appreciate it. I'm not here to be liked. What I do know though, wise words, and what I have learned though, as long as I keep growing and evolving, I won't be forgotten because the energy and the vibes I'm on is going to be supplanted. It's going to be cemented on this planet because my energy and my frequency. That's what's important. Like my energy is kinetic, kinetic energy. It's retroactive, not radioactive. Like I already know what I represent and the energy I bring. Wise warriors, I learned I'm talking to a selective few people. Those who it resonate with, outside of that, thank you. Thank you. I already know that. Like I said, it's billions of people on the planet. It may be a million wise warriors on the whole planet Earth. The whole planet. It's billions on the planet, but it may be a million wise warriors. And that's not a lot. And again, that's not taking anything away from anyone. It may be a million though, due to the fact some people don't know what they was ordained to do. Some people don't know their own destiny because, like I said, their soul and their spirit is connected to so many various different things: music, sports, clothes, the internet, men, women, jewelry, cars. So your spirit, and you have so many soul ties, how you gonna know what your calling really is? You responding to everything and everyone calling you, you don't know what your calling is because you're not listening to your own spirit and your own soul. See, that's the difference. Wise warriors, we know what our calling is because we listen to our own spirit and our own soul, though. We do that. See, when I shut this thing down, it's over. It's over. When I can, I'll reach out to certain people I've subscribed to. I'll say things here or there. I keep it brief. And when I do say things, I'll say peace and power to them, or I'll say shalom to them, or I'll say God bless them, or I'll tell them stay encouraged, keep grinding, stay motivated, God bless them. So I keep it productive, positive, and I keep that energy and that frequency high as possible. I can't worry about how their energy is when they interact with other things and other people. I know how I'm gonna keep my energy when I interact with them. That's what's going on, wise warriors. That's what's relevant, wise warriors. That's what's relevant. Anything else, it just is minute to me. See, another thing about energy that I appreciate, wise warriors, is that once you put the energy in the universe, you can't control where it go unless you control your own energy. But once you put it out there, it's different. But if you control your energy, you can see where it's gonna go. That's why I don't just put it out in the universe no more. I control my own energy. So I say, okay, I put my energy out there. It's gonna go there. It's gonna go there. So I don't just put it out there. Like I said, when I do speak about things, it's overall. It ain't limited. Like I said, if it's okay, if it's politics, I'm not going to just speak about the president. I'm gonna speak about politics and politicians on a whole. I'm not going to just be talk about the president or just the governor. Nah, I'm just talking about politics because I don't know the laws and the legislation in every city and or state. So just because I might not like something a governor or a mayor or someone said or did, but I don't really know what it's like in that city and or that state. You know what I mean? I never lived in that city and or that state. So how I'ma just be, oh well, they messing up this and they messing up that, or they don't like this and they don't like that, or they hating on this. And I don't live there to really totally grasp everything. What I could do is though, I could look into politics a little bit more to kind of get a better perspective on what senators do, on what governors do, on what mayors do, on what Congress people do. But for me to just be like, yo, no, I'm saying this person is this and that, it's like, but I'm limiting myself. Trying to limit someone else, I end up limiting myself. So I'm gonna look into politics. It's various different forms of law enforcement. I can't just say the police. I mean, it's homicide police. You got detectives. You got the FBI. You got ATF. It's so many levels to things in life. So I just can't limit it and be like, yo, I don't like police. It's like that's a broad statement. That's a broad statement. So if I collectively get into law enforcement, it's like, okay, I know a little bit about homicide cops. I know a little bit about regular uniform cops. I know a little bit about detectives. I know something about ATF. I know something about the FBI. I know something about the DEA. But if I don't have a perspective on it, it's like, what am I really doing? I'm gonna end up sounding and looking like a fool because I'm just that frustrated. That's why I don't put my energy into things. Wise Warriors, like I said, collectively, I could be like, all right, I'm going to do some more homework on law enforcement. Because, okay, let's just say I only dealt with detectives and uniform cops. I can't, okay, that's two forms of law enforcement. But I can't say all law enforcement is crooked because I haven't dealt with homicide cops. I haven't dealt with DEA. I haven't dealt with the FBI or the Feds. So how am I just put that stigma on them? How am I just put that stigma on them? Same thing with judges and courts. Like if I only dealt with criminal judges, how I'm gonna say a family court judge is corrupt or a civil court judge is corrupt. I haven't dealt with them. So how I'm gonna do that to the civil judges and the family court judges? How I'm gonna do that to them? I understand my experience with them criminal judges. I get that. But I haven't dealt with those other judges though, wise warriors. So how I'm gonna just limit it? How I'm gonna limit other judges like that? Like I've had certain jobs, so it's like I didn't have. So if I dealt with stock before and I dealt with construction before, okay, that was. But now, even though I could have been a construction worker, I probably was the carpenter. Okay, I don't know what it's like to be a bricklayer. That do consist of construction, yes, but I don't know what it's like to be a bricklayer. I don't know what it's like to be the electrician. Yes, it may still have to do with construction because when you building a building, you need the electrician to come, you need the bricklayer, but I haven't done that aspect of it, so I don't know what that's like. So I can't just be like, yo, all construction companies be underpaying you. It's like, hold on, but I'm just speaking from the perspective of being a carpenter. So that's why, wise warriors, I don't put my energy into things. It ain't my concern. It ain't my business. And at times, you're going to get people to put you in it or bring you in it. They may say, what's your perspective on it? That ain't my business. So you're telling me you don't care about it or you don't feel no way? No, it's not that I do or don't care. I don't feel nothing. It's nothing for me to feel. It's nothing for me to really study and value. Because when I value it or I put energy and effort into it, somebody somewhere gonna be like, that's not right. Or you lying, or you hate, or you exaggerate, or you agreeing with this side and you hating on this side. It's like, nah, I'm not. So if I just ride with myself and hiring up my frequency and increasing my frequency and keeping my vibes right and keeping my soul and my spirit connected to the universe, my third eye could be moving. And I could use my third eye, which is my brain, to pay attention to myself and reach out to those wise warriors that's on that frequency. And it's not we on the same frequency for us to agree with each other. We on the same frequency because we could see the same things. Again, it's not we have or we on the same frequency to agree with each other. We could see the same things. Wise warriors could see mind their business, self-respect, self-control, self-awareness, self-accountability, self-love, self-care. It's not about agreeing. It's about third eye vision. They can see what very few can see. They can see what very few can see. A meal is a feast to them. Anything they eat, they thankful for. Anywhere they can sleep or stay or live is a palace to them. They can have a hut, a cardboard box. They thankful. They got somewhere to live. They got somewhere to stay. They got somewhere to shower. They can have a a car with the motor hanging out. That's still a Bentley or Rolls Royce or limo because they get from point A to point B. They got a car. They got clothes on their back. Every suit is an Armani suit. Every shirt is Polo. Every watch is a Rolex. Every conversation is important. Someone else's time is precious to them. That's what I mean by wise warriors. They just see things differently. It's not about agreeing with me. Oh no, I'm only saying wise warriors because they're going to agree with me. No, they third eye is connected. They can see things that other people aren't paying attention to. That's what I mean when I say wise warriors. So again, in closing, keep your frequencies high, wise warriors. Respect yourself, love yourself. Maybe you could start to love others. Self accountability, self awareness, self control, self discipline, wise decisions. Walk away so you can live to see another day. Walk away so you can live to see another day. That's very important for everybody who tapped in. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody's time, effort, and energy. To all the wise warriors, thank you. I know you was out there listening, and I appreciate it. All right. Soon we'll be monetized. I'll have those memberships for the wise warriors and for everybody else, but more importantly, the wise warriors that's going to be looking forward to those memberships. And then I'll have things to offer, books, magazines. And in closing, to any of the wise warriors that's on the come up and you looking for or you need mentorship, email me for some sessions. All right. Again, any of the wise warriors on the come up, or if you know anybody that's looking to come up and they need some mentorship, email me. All right, wise warriors. So shalom, peace and power. Assalamu alaikum. And again, thanks to everybody. Remember, love yourself, respect yourself. All right. Till next time. Peace, world.